We are our own enemies. We are the deadly virus infecting one another. Watch this clip of a sermon by Bishop Samuel N Mensah, and we'll come back.
We are our own enemies. We are the deadly virus infecting one another. I read an article that talks about a man said, I got the opportunity to meet 6 rich Ghanaian men, and I asked them this question: why are they not building factories for the youth of this country to get a job to do? These 6 rich businessmen burst into laughter as if I have said something funny. Then one said, the people shouting, no food, no jobs are all thieves. The writer said, I said, really? I was shocked. And the man then went on, he said, I run a manufacturing business and trading business. He said, the biggest challenge in my manufacturing business is not electricity. It is not infrastructure. The biggest challenge is getting honest staff. Everyone we hire appears to be on a mission to steal as much as possible. They will inflate invoices, recording less than the actual number of units produced. The worst part of it all is that all the fraud we have uncovered is not done by a single person. It is usually many staff who collude with each other, from the production line to sales to finance and even to top management. The businessman said, there was a year I overhauled management 3 times. I now use Indian expatriate management. So competent, so honest, and so straightforward. I thought they were expensive at first, with all the visa fees, accommodation, house staff. But now that the losses due to staff theft have been reduced to a minimum and efficiency increased, the Indian management has turned out to be cheaper than the previous African Ghanaian management. Now all sensitive positions involving money go to Indians. Africans are only allowed in non-sensitive positions. This is what the businessman further said. I used to criticize indigenous African companies like Dangote Group that hire so many Indians when there are many unemployed Africans. But now I understand their painful decisions.
Now, how can we build a better Africa? We always complain that expatriates are taking over our jobs. If there's any truth in this video, what's the hope of building a better Africa that empowers Africans? Not the ones that you have to bring people from outside the country because you can't find honest people there. All right, so please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WadeShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WadeShow, or you send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-80384663. Uti wants to cut my neck today. But let me come to Lami first. Lami, when you saw this video, because this video for me was really heartbreaking, right? Because a lot of times, this is what we see all the time. It's so quick for people to... You see what the pastor was saying about the people that are shouting, there are no jobs, there are no jobs. These are the same people that go about stealing. When you give them an opportunity, they're so dishonest and all. You can't find... just within my small farm, the people we import from Cotonou, they come, they face their work, they do their work. December like this, they go back home. Just one worker that we got from the north, one, he didn't even stay up to a month. You understand? And packed his load and left. So there are too many things. I recall when my oldest sister used to run a very big poultry in Jos. It was so bad that the poultry workers, is either they twist the neck of the chicken and fling it over the fence, so at night when they are going, they pick the dead chicken to their house, or they take eggs and apply Vaseline. Oh God, you know where they insert it, the women? They keep it like 3 eggs per time or 4. It depends on how deep they are. So they take 4 eggs. So they will do it steadily for a week or 2 weeks before they can make up to 1 crate and go and sell. the amount of dishonesty, and you say you want to build factories, you want to build businesses. How would this happen? Let me come to Lami.
Well, this isn't new to me because my father is an industrialist. And I know that all through his years actively at work, he's still at work till today, but the greatest challenge he used to complain about at that time was human resource. And what exactly would I say is the problem and the solution? I'll take it from the education angle, because if you look at the Singaporeans, Japanese, Koreans, and all that, they are topping in the world economy. I'm sorry, they are topping in economy and they are topping in education. So I did a research on why are they really advanced educationally, and I saw that their parents are very, very strict on them, and especially the Japanese style. What they do is that when a child starts school, they don't start formal education up until the age of about 8. So what they do between the age when they start school and the age of 8 is that they try to imbibe a lot of values in them. Schools in Japan, they don't have cleaners. They don't have gate men and all that luxury. They do it themselves. So all the way from inception, from birth up until the age of 8, what they are busy doing to them is imbibing the culture of excellence in them, which I think it's is totally diminished in our own culture, and we're slowly losing our values because of money economy. So parents are losing their values and they're not imbibing any value. They're not passing down any value to children. So even when you see parents of, all these fraudsters and all that having an association, they are the ones that will take their children to, all these religious leaders to pray for them, help them to even hide the proceeds of crime. Far back in many, say, decades ago, that would not have happened in Africa. But now, because of the poverty level, there's no social welfare. If you become sick today, you have to pay through your nose if you need private health care. If not, you have to queue from morning to night at at the government hospital. If you have to send your child to school, you have to do that through your nose. If you want to have a relatively secure environment, just relatively secure, you need to live in all these top-notch estates. If you want to buy a house, the mortgage system is almost non-existent, which if you look at in the Western world, is just there on a platter of gold. A child that goes to school at the age of 18, that goes to uni at the age of 18, knows that by the time they step out of school at 21, she would probably get a job immediately and she can start saving towards mortgage and other. So her parents are not under any pressure. They don't have to know anybody to get their child into school. They don't have to know anybody to walk into a hospital and receive good health care. But all that is not existent in Africa as a whole, not just Nigeria. So when anybody's in an opportune environment, the take-all thing will come. They're all trying to protect their future, trying to protect their children's future, which is non-existent in our system. So I would think that those are part of what I would have contributed to this.
Okay, let me. Uti is ready to attack me.
No, attack you. No. You said something just now. You said, taking care of their children by being dishonest. Survival of the fittest is what it is. Lami has said so many poignant things, which are quite, in the short sense for me, our value system has been completely eroded and it has been rebuilt around money. We value wealth beyond everything else. We value the good life beyond everything else. But even for those that haven't even got the capacity to even think that far to the good life, survival first. Most people are struggling to survive. So I always, as we say, you can't give what you don't have. But the reality is there are so many people that don't have. So at the point in time where I say, I can't feed myself, I can't feed my family, what do I do? You look into yourself to the values that have been instilled in you of honesty, of hard work. Because let's be honest, I find that if you are not lazy and if you don't have heirs, you eat. If it means that you go and put a bowl on your head to carry sand at a site, you will eat. But we've created this value. Everybody wants to be rich. Comfortable is acceptable only to a very small part of the populace in Nigeria. Everybody wants to hammer. Everybody wants to blow. In Nigeria today, what we started to talk about as 419 is now a full-fledged career. You people quit jobs to go and do Yahoo. So when we look at this issue, when we look at this problem, you try to, before you even get to solutions, try to understand the problem.
Where is it coming from?
We have nothing to emulate as a moral compass because our leaders don't give us anything to emulate. Now, this is not a get out of jail free card that says, because you know what, whether you like it or not, if you look at children, even a 2-year-old has a sense of right or wrong. So when a child is doing something and you call the child's name, the first reaction shows you, oops, might I have done something wrong? They know. So it's not that we don't know the difference from right or wrong, but it's the choice. And what motivates that choice? Is it survival? Is it greed? Is it lack of a better example?
Are you saying that in Africa now today, that most of the choices for people, Africans, being dishonest to ourselves? Because what this man said about us being our worst enemies, us being the virus that is infecting us, it is the absolute truth. So is it a bid to survive that has made Africans so dishonest that we have to abandon our people to go and get expatriates from outside the country to do a job that we would have been fit to be able to do and empower ourselves?
Yeah, but it's not one size fits all. So I asked the question, for the person who is working in that factory, right? Let's create a vicious cycle. For the person who is working in that factory, who is going to the extent of finding Vaseline to rub on eggs, how much are you paying that person? I know. When we talk about what is a acceptable minimum wage in Nigeria, you know what we have is a joke in terms of survival. So first of all, are these people paid a decent enough wage to survive? Are these people educated to come up with an alternative to survive, to augment? A lot of these things make sense to you and I. Now, how many people have been raised with the moral compass that says no matter what, this is your right, this is your wrong, don't stray? I love what he said in the video. I can't remember if it's this one or the other clip that was shared. And this is a question I ask all the time. You go through any stretch of road in this country, any journey you're on, start counting churches, you will hit 20 before you get where you're going. But we still have to lock our doors. We still have crime.
Yeah, that was the other video.
Why? So I ask this question all the time. If this thing is doing what it's supposed to do, why are we still the way we are? Because there are bigger factors at play.
So what are the factors?
The number of churches that we have just shows us that religion has become the opium of the masses. If I can't, I need something to keep me on an even keel. And that's what religion has become. So again, like I said, you come back to that point where there's loss of value. There's lack of education. There's lack of your leaders that actually can show you. Now, if we now circle back to the leadership, I love what Lami said about Japan. There was deliberateness, very, very deliberate activities in driving certain values and instilling them in the child before you even get to the academia. Because those are the things that should form the foundation.
That shapes the mind of the child.
But we ain't got that. What we have now, sadly, is popular culture. That is saying I'm OBO. No, it's true. I mean, when Taiwa Kilami, whenever he's on here, he says it. You are shaping the minds with popular culture because there's no alternative. There's no education. In this day and age, mom and dad are hustling. Nobody got time to sit down at home and teach you right from wrong. You probably learn it running around on the streets. Most of us, when we were growing up, a good percentage of us, let me not say most of us, had at least one parent at home. Or we had other family members at home.
That could instill
a lot of households these days, mom and dad are working, there's a help, there's a nanny. That's as good as it gets for the children. All of these things have long-term effects. So what we are seeing today is the slow but sure long-term degradation of our values, of our culture, and we are back to where we are. You know, I say it on the show all the time. You say, it's Abuja, it's the president, it's the this. Everybody's wrong. But then you're traveling in a car, you finish drinking a bottle of water, and you chuck it out the window. You don't think anything of it. But it's like the wool in my eye.
Push the blame.
You can push it somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
So it is actually a vicious cycle, which is why it seems like, where did it start? What's the root cause? How do we fix it? It's a vicious cycle because it's a cycle that feeds itself. Once you've taken out education, once you've taken out values, once you've changed the culture, this is what you're going to get.
Let me come to you. There's problem in the land. Because this is not even unique. You know, the man was talking about Ghana. But if you listen to everything he said, it's almost like he's just speaking about Nigerian.
But I think a lot of things are common to us as Africans.
That is, so that's where I'm coming to now.
So I am also trying to see that from another angle, that is it an innate thing for us as Black people? Because if you look at Jamaicans, if you look at, even people that are not on this continent, they still exhibit, this kind of traits. So I would bother to see if it's more psychological or just innate for us as Black people to be like that.
Because
I don't think it's innate. I think that it's, if you want to look at it that way, potentially environmental. Because don't forget that the same us, Black people, we conform very quickly when we're abroad. There are the people who will still find, like I said, Yahoo is a whole industry.
But wait.
Yes.
I've been doing this research. There are times that when I go to England, I see white people on the bus with their children. And you say to them, "Hi, George, just sit down. And George will sit down. If he's an African child, sit down there before he listens. So I think everything about us is forceful, is aggressive. I think we're just naturally like that. That's my take.
So
I think it's just an
is it that we're naturally like that? I think to you it feels like we're naturally like that because we've been that way for a while. I grew up with a mother that didn't beat me, that didn't yell. I think in my entire life I can only remember 2 times when she beat me. But the reality of it is, yes, it's culture. It's just what you're used to. If you don't take an active thought process, you perpetrate the same cycle with which you experienced. So I don't even think that, because again,
is it Black culture? Because if you go to the Caribbean, they also have this problem. Haiti, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and all that. They also have this problem.
So the question I asked for you
then,
then,
next door to America, they don't have that problem.
No. The African Americans have the same problem. They do.
That's what I'm saying. That isn't a Black thing.
No, so again, I think that the drivers that we're looking at are still the same. The same issues that we face here are the same historical issues that African Americans have faced. So it is the transition. No, from slavery to what's that thing we talked about? The zoning and all of that. It's the same issues that we face. When you don't have opportunity, you take away, like I said, the value system. You add in the culture. This same culture we talk about here of living large and all of that. It's the same thing in pop culture for Black music. It's the same thing. So we've placed emphasis on the wrong things that drive us. And then all the checks and balances that we should have in place, we don't have it. We don't have a judiciary, we don't have a legal system. There are no consequences. The people who
designed all this? Who designed it for us?
You know what?
We did for ourselves.
We are going to take
Living in self-determination for 60 years.
We are
and
going to take
counting.
a break.
So, what is the issue?
Lami,
Honestly,
we're going
I
to
don't
take a
have a
break.
solution to our problem.
We will have
answer the question.
We will have a solution when we come back. We'll open the phone lines. Maybe somebody can call us and tell us how we can rise above dishonesty, because we have to find a solution. Because if you watch that video, it means we're going nowhere.
No, but it's a vicious cycle. That's why I said it's self-perpetuating.
So let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Issue.